Interesting. Oh, but here. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. So. Can you make that out? Greetings, my name is Michael Miller. This is a Michael Miller trademark training video out to you because you're watching. Thank you and welcome. It's meant for Michael Miller Pilates licensed affiliates, the Core New Core, licensed presenters, my patrons, and anyone interested in surviving and thriving as a Pilates instructor or student. 4 things. It was just going to be 3 things, and then a 4th demanded a title. I want to echo to you Maya Angelou's words about believe what someone tells you or believe who someone tells you are. Tells you who they are. To me, that means take someone to be real, to be who they are based on your first impression. Number 2. In the beginning of this video, I held up my laptop to show a picture, an image that had 2 people in it, Joe and me, and we're both looking to the viewer's right. So Joe's looking to your right, and I'm there in the same line of sight as Joe, okay? And that's the name of the image, line of sight. And I've used it in emails and such. The point is, my title number 2 is, from me to you, I want you to see what we are looking at. The it to it, if there is an it, right? The substance, the essence. The point that I make in the image is I try to assume his same posture and look in the same direction that he does, because I take it to be more than just the lighting considerations for someone who has a glass right eye. I mean, I think the picture's taken that way, with his right eye in shadow, to capture the gaze and the intent, through the organic real eye and the real man, right? To bring focus to him. So what we're looking at, that is the same thing that I promote, that you take a point of view to see if you can see the same thing. Then that will be one more person that sees in some way an ideal within Joe's original work, that there is something to it. And MMP is one point of view that's very simple and clear and universal in its application. Of course, it's Pilates. So enter the young. I've made 2 new friends in my audience that are reaching across the language, and I'm grateful for that. And sorry I can't just speak directly to you and yours. Excuse me. The title that I'm looking at is Enter the Young, 3, and my new friends, you know, from a personal point of view, is they seem young within the Pilates culture, and they're eager to learn, and they're so far embracing whatever it is they're getting from me as something that enhances their comprehension of, or their ability to embrace Pilates. You know, how do I go deeper? How do I get more of it? Whatever it is. See, what is it? We talked about that already. Why comes before what? You can't really explain what Pilates is unless you understand why it is what it is, or why it becomes necessary to define it. So understanding why it is what it is, the why comes before what. And in MMP, the why is the experience. The why is the experience. In pursuit of the choreography, the exercises in order. Choreography, because it doesn't stop, it flows from one movement to the next, from one exercise to the next. So there's more than just words in the dictionary. So in MMP, what we're looking at, Joe and me together, you can find that image at hermit.com, and then go to home, and a little menu opens up, and click on Old Home. And it exists elsewhere throughout the 24 gigs of space, but if you're there, don't ignore where it says, be a patron. So let's talk about entering the young, and how whether it's a passing interest, like much of life is for all of us, that our interests move from one modality to the next, or become a compilation and a fricassee of our interests, right? But to me, whether it's a passing interest or something that becomes or is found to be bedrock, it doesn't matter. What's just great is exposing you to a point of view that looks for an ideal within Joe's book. There's a lot of other spectrum out there. And see, one of the great things about Michael Miller Pilates is that it's very narrow in what it considers in order to explain the word. And of course, maybe that's why I'm thinking it. When I talk loosely about Pilates, I mean contrology, as Joe did. As Joe used his word, contrology, and we all now call his name contrology by his surname Pilates. We lose a lot in losing orientation about what Pilates is when we replace the name he called it for his own name. From me to you, from this point of view, there's so much to explore just within the word Pilates. This spectrum is vast, right, and evolving, and becoming more diverse all the time. Right? There's pressure in that, I think. To hold sacred what you already hold sacred because of your background and the culture you grew up within, and to what extent that has any meaning or significance to what's being made of it now and what it's changing into. One of the things Pilates is changing into that goes beyond its history of folklore is explanation, is thinking. From the MMP point of view, Pilates has a unique... Pilates is an experience in pursuit of the choreography. The choreography is the conditioning that you do and the state of being in the body in the moment of the doing is the frame of mind, the pursuit you have that pursues to go outside of thinking to harmonize with the world beyond themselves as human beings. So, I've used this imagery just recently about two big mountains, two huge, enormous mountains. Mountains. One is the knowledge about core new tension and how the body engages itself to move through space. The other is one point of view out of thousands upon thousands upon thousands. The point of view is not come from within the folklore that the culture prominently has always existed as. The point of view seeks an explanation to the experience. There you go. I often say, getting involved in Pilates is like saying, I want more of that. I want it right here in my hand. What else is there? How many, there's more exercises? Good, I want to know every exercise. I'm going to know every exercise. The bulk of the Pilates culture is all word of mouth and primarily delivered by the exercises themselves without providing a real explanation to the language that exists within the structure of Joe's sequence. There are many disciplines and modalities that are worthwhile and beneficial and have value. For many throughout the culture that I think will exist forever in terms of the way humanity expresses itself across spectrums. Now that I said that, what am I talking about? The two enormous mountains. One is an awareness of the biomechanics of core new tension. See? Recognizing that the core really is a grip and that the shoulders work in opposition of that dynamic, and in doing so make tension between those two axes. The grip itself is what presses the axes apart. It's like going into the grip. What goes into the depth of the grip, there is excess that comes out of it. Like the shank to a fishing hook. It gets longer if you tighten the anyway. Our spine is inside of us, and muscularly, when we engage in core new tension, that's what the spine is undergoing. It's traction. It's self-imposed traction through core new tension. Now, what is core new tension? The definition? Oppositional rotation between axes. Oppositional isn't even an English word in the dictionary, but it means in opposition. Go in different directions. Oppositional. The rotation here and the rotation here are oppositional to one another. The rotation here and the rotation here are oppositional to one another. And in engaging in core new tension, you get more uniform engagement. And you get a sensation of alignment. So my going away comment was, Pilates puts you in touch with yourself while preparing for the future. And puts you in touch with yourself is sort of a generalized euphemism. Pilates brings into sharper focus your capacities to coordinate your being, thinking, and observing. That's like immediate right now, make a difference in the state of being in the body in the moment of the doing. And it's that experience that you are in the pursuit of and maintaining, if you can, as you perform the choreography. Aware of the physics that is involved in how Pilates, the sequence, is what it is insofar as a uniform eccentric loading flowing through progressive patterns of movement. So Pilates is preparation. Pilates is getting ready for whatever comes up next. And Pilates is something in and of itself that's more than cosmetics, even though it makes great cosmetics or additions to or considerations in other modalities. Pilates is a modality all its own because of Joe's poem in his mat sequence. That's the number 3 thing to know if you're going to know how to stand on the idea of Pilates. The idea is a theory. A theory is an attempt to explain something. And MMP is an explanation of why Pilates is what it is. Why comes before what. So in concluding remarks, I'm talking about the mystery within Pilates, observing its characteristics, the exploration of the performance of the choreography that then in some way goes beyond the exploration to the participation in the hologram of time. Life can't live forever. Read between the lines and see behind the curtain. Add 2 and 2. Connect the dots. Direct your thinking. Geist.